Hi, my name is Danielle Tribby. I'm 27 years old. I'm currently married. Been married for almost 3 years, and today I'm going to talk about being sober. I've been sober for a little over 4.5 years. It'll be 5 years in October, and I came to be sober because in 2010 I got a DUI. I was arrested and taken to jail. And ever since that moment, I knew I didn't want to drink anymore because I didn't want to undergo that humiliation ever again. But it took me a couple months to realize that I actually had a problem and that I needed to be sober in order to save my life. When I first got sober, I got my DUI in August of 2010. And in October 2010, I realized that I had a problem and that my life needed to change. In order to do that, I did what I thought was best. So I started going to AA meetings and to talking to other people who were also struggling with alcoholism. And I found that AA meetings weren't the best for me because a lot of people focused on who they used to be and what they used to be like and what they would have normally been doing now if they were still drinking. And for me, that seemed to be focusing too much on the past and who you were instead of who you are now. And I wanted to focus on who I was now. About 6 months into being sober, I met my husband and I started bartending at the restaurant that I've been working at. And ironically, it was actually an amazing experience because it showed me the ugly side of alcohol, of not alcoholism, but of alcohol, because it was smelly and it was dirty and the people that I had to deal with, and it really just kind of opened my eyes. So on my 1 year sobriety, I quit my bartending job and I got baptized, and it was the first time I shared my brand new testimony, which was the revelation that came to me through my DUI experience. And it was such a revelation and a huge experience. And a month after my baptism, my boyfriend at the time proposed and became my fiance, and we planned to get married the following November. Throughout this time, while I was bartending, I actually started becoming a counselor at my church in Rancho Bernardo, and it was also just a huge learning time for me to be able to be a witness for these teenage girls that I was working with on sharing my life experience, because the journey I took from becoming an alcoholic to being sober and everything that went with that was huge, and I had a lot of knowledge and information to share, and it really helped to, it was a healing process for me to deal with some of the stuff I had gone through, and also to help be an example for the girls that I was working with. And it really helped set the stage for what it was going to be like living as a sober person in a non-sober world, which can be very, very, very difficult. When my husband and I started dating, he stopped drinking for a while, and it was what helped me get through the first year, because that was probably the hardest part. And him not drinking made it that much easier because I wasn't the only one. And after we got married, he started drinking a little bit socially on special occasions, and that was about it. But it was really hard for me to be around his friends and our family who drank, and not anything crazy, but enough to make me uncomfortable. And it took me a long time to get to the point where I could be in an environment where people were drinking and I was okay. Not so much because of the temptation, but the smells made me ill. I wasn't comfortable because I didn't know what I was capable of. And it took me a long time to realize that I enjoyed myself sober way more than I ever enjoyed myself drunk. And I was actually a much better person for it. And I learned to find my skin on who I thought that alcohol made me better as a sober person. I always joke that I never did karaoke till I became sober, because so many people say they can't do it unless they're drunk. And that was a huge eye-opener for me, not on the karaoke part, but on the revelation that I can be exactly who I want to be, and I don't have to be intoxicated to do it. And people aren't only going to love me because I'm the life of the party. I can be the life of the party sober. And that has shown to me time and time again with our circle of friends and the tremendous support that they have for me. And they know that they can drink around me and don't offer me anything, or they watch out for me and are always offering me water or soda or whatever it is. And I know at the end of the day that my husband's always home safe because I'm the one who's driving, and my friends are safe because I'm the one who's driving. And that's huge. And so it's become such a pride and such a special thing for me to own that I am now this awesome example for everyone else out there that you can be a sober person in a non-sober world, and it's totally okay, and it's totally acceptable, because the people who love you the most are going to support you no matter what. And that has been the best thing for me, and that's what I really hope to offer the world, is that you don't have to be of this world in order to live a fruitful life. I still live in this world, and there's a lot of things I partake in, and drinking just isn't one of them. And the best part of this for me, not only in my testimony, which I wish I had time to share, but was that God was truly instrumental in every single part of it. And the quickest thing that I will share from my actual testimony is when I was finally booked out of jail and I was able to go home. The jail that I was at was underground, kind of the way it was built, and so when I received all my stuff back and I had to walk out to where my family was to pick me up, it was a long ramp of a hallway up from this really dark area up into the sunlight. And I still think about it, and what an amazing journey that was, to walk literally out of the darkness and into the light. And that's what God has showed me time and time again, is that I don't have to stay in that darkness, and I don't have to live over there, and I can be in the light and be free and be such a child for Him. And that was huge. It was such a physical experience of something theological, and something that I hope that everyone can experience at some point in their time. And I continue to be sober to this day because God is with me constantly. He's constantly with me. He's constantly reminding me that I'm much better sober than I ever was drunk. So thanks, everybody.